I think so. We have to start, right?
Right.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. Thank you for finding time and visiting today's webinar on how to build a career in software development. How to build a software development is organized by DIGISAKSHAM, and on the behalf of DIGISAKSHAM, this site Ritika as today's host. DIGISAKSHAM is the organized or is the initiative of the same Welfare Foundation has developed content over 300 courses, and also in the different areas, in the different sectors of IT, BFSI, retail entrepreneurship, in multiple languages, from range from the 4 hours to 6 months. Also, it has conducted more than 100 webinars, 10 FDPs, and 6 international conferences too. DIGISAKSHAM has impacted more than 15,000 lives through the webinars, seminars, conferences across the globe. Asking me about this webinar on this topic, software developers invent the technologies we sometimes take for granted. For instance, that app that rings, sings, or budges you out of a deep sleep every morning. Yeah, a software developer had designed that. And when you roll out into your office and turn on your computer, clicking, scrolling down in your social media, music, and your personal calendar, software developer had a big hand in shaping those too. Software development is a booming industry and offers a career path with the endless progression opportunities and depending on how good you are. Here with us, a great personality, Prince Kumar, sir. Mr. Prince Kumar is the software developer at skillmine. His main focus is a full stack development of the web and humanity. His love to share knowledge in the unique way. He's a creator of Hello World, which is a YouTube channel on programming and developing skill set. His key competencies include Nodejs, JavaScript developer, communication, digital marketing, team building, and management too. So now I would like to request you to listen to the instruction carefully before moving further. In order not to disturb the course of webinar, I request to all the participants, keep your mic mute. Keep your mic mute. And also, if it is important or you have any doubt or query, please drop the message in the chat box. We will address them during the question answer session. Now comes together to welcome our speaker, Mr. Prince Kumar, sir, to take over today's event. Please, sir.
Hi everyone. I hope you all are good. And today, as the Ritika said, today we are going to discuss about how to become a software developer. And apart from it, now we are all of you are basically new in this field. Most of you are also aware about the software development things. But what my concern is, and what I feel personally, is that software development is not only about the software development word. It's too much things behind it, and too much easy, some kind of we can say. It's not always the tough thing which we all heard about. It's the toughest part of the software development. It's not like that. We are introduced topics slowly. It's like, what's the software development, what's the process, why we have to choose a software developer as a field, and different kind of software development roles, what's the front end, back end, and all other things are which we are going to cover in this session, right? So first of all, let me introduce myself in the briefly. I am a Prince Kumar, and I am currently a software developer at skillmine. Most of you, if you don't aware what the software developer is, after this session you will definitely know what's the actual meaning of software developer and what they do actually, right? Now I am going to be a incoming software developer at Browser Stack, which is a product-based company and which works on the automation part. And currently, my role is to be a backend developer. Again, you are not knowing about what's the backend development, all the things. No worry at all. We will discuss one by one. What I want from you guys, okay, let the session be interactive. If you don't know anything, then please be comment on the chat box and what you have. And what if I ask something, then I will always then I also want to know okay, what you know. And yeah, let the session begin. First of all, what is software development, right? How the term came. First of all, I want to ask how many of you know the things, okay, what is software development actually means. I am seeing the chat window of you guys. If you know, if you heard the term, then I want to know.
Guys, please drop the message in chat box if you know what is the software development.
If you don't know, then no worry at all. Let's discuss one by one. What is basically software development? What I feel so far, everything which you see on the internet is a kind of software, is a part of the software, right? And yeah, whatever we see in the internet, how we can say that it's a part of software? Basically, a software means a bunch of code. Collectively, we can say a bunch of code which makes our life easy. And the easy means, let's suppose whatever we are doing the task, and it makes the things easy in the sense it either reduce the time, either it reduce the effort, a piece of bunch of code which automates our daily routine process, then we can say it's a part of, it's a software, right? Now how we can say, if I ask to you okay, what you see as a software in our daily to daily basis, right? So we can say the Facebook, what Facebook did, it's makes the new friends with from all over the world. And instead of that, what we did in the earlier time, we meet the person physically, and we met them and make the friends, right? But the what the Facebook did, Facebook app did, it basically create a platform where the persons can connect to each other and make a new friends, right? The Gmail helps to send the emails to other, right? But the Firefox is a browser which helps to access the web servers, right? Maps helps to use the navigation system. Swiggy is basically a food delivery app in the India, right? Uber is the Ola. Ola is kind of the basically a cab booking system. It's on the mobile applications, right? Basically, no matter what, this kind of applications, this kind of piece of bunch of code, or we can say this kind of uh, software make our life easy, right? Either in terms of no matter what, either it's running on the mobile application, either it may be running in the cloud, it may be running in the laptop software, etc., right? It's a basically piece of code. We designed it for either to run on the mobile application, or we compile the code to make them compatible with the laptop softwares. No matter what, it runs and it make the life easy. That's the software, right? Now, so so why not, Prince? Let's end the meeting and start and go to the write the code and become a software developer. No, dude, it's not kind of easy. Basically, if we talk about the initial stage when we are learning, right? When we are in the learning stage, then it's totally fine. We can write the code for our purposes, for our small mini projects, whatever we want to create, we can create. No need to be part of that a big bunch software development process. What is process means? Let's suppose someone in the earlier time, like when the Uber cab booking is not invented, so people are in problem with book the cab or car for their personal travel, right? So there is a requirement analysis, right? We have to gather the requirement, what was the requirement of that particular problem. Then after this, we go to the part of resources planning. We have to manage the resources, like what kind of language we are going to use to create that software. Either it's the Nodejs, either is the Go, either is the Ruby on Rails, whatever we can use, right? That's the resources we have to use. We have to fix the deadline. We have to fix the what we say number of developer needs. Then it's come to the design and prototyping. Then we design the outline of the apps, right? Ki how we are going to build it. First the home page will come, then after that we'll click, the search destination will come, then the target destination will come, right? Then your current destination will come. What kind of cabs you want to book, like it's SUV, it's a mini, micro, right? Now after, it's the part of software development. Key, now it's the time when we have a requirement, we have a resources, we designed all the things. Now it's time to write, we have all the resources gathered, now it's time to come create a software. After this, when the software is created, then we can't deploy directly to the Play Store, the App Store, right? We have to first test it whether it's working or not. It may be log, it might not be it might not be fail in the system, user system, right? So we have to test it. After, then we deploy it on the any server, so that anybody in the public can access it, right? After that, we now all the things are done. Then there is a part of maintenance and updates. We have to regularly fix the bug if there is any bug in this app, if we have to regularly check the maintenance and all these things. So this is the whole process. Now you, as a beginner, you ask me, "Hey, Prince, is it necessary to follow this process?" Then I said, no need to worry about it. You have to just start with some idea, and you have to implement in your local machine. No need to host it somewhere, and so that your public can also use. Yeah, we will do it on later, but at the current stage, no need to worry about all these steps, right? So now come to the part, key software development process may is in this process, what we have to do, the requirement. Now come to the part, first of things I want to know, key there is a different stages, right? Software development process or in the job, it's not like key we have a software developer and we can do all the things, right? For the requirement analysis, we call the things called managers. What the upper managerial peoples are done, they have a work for requirement analysis, what we are going to plan to create the things. Then there is a resources planning, there is a project lead, under which the project is running in the company, and they gathered and manage the resources, key what kind of things we have to use to create that software, right? Basically, if you confuse about the term software is simple kind of thing. We can say it's a bunch of code, a code which makes the life simple, a code which solves some problem which are facing a day-to-day life. It's a simple piece of code, that's it. And we compiled it, the piece of code, in a different platform, either in the Play Store for the Android application, in the App Store for the Mac application. Either we compiled it to in the .exe file for the what we say, the Windows application, right? It's a simple piece of code. Now there is a design and prototyping phase. There is a called technical lead, who design the pipelining, who design the databases, who design the front end, back end, the user interface, everything. Then there's a part of software development. It's called the software developer. Here we need the software developer. Basically, all the upper managerial flow will go down to the software development part, and the software developer gathered all the things which the upper managerial decide, and his working is to understand all the logics behind it and write the code, right? And that's what we are going to plan, how we can become a software developer, so that if someone give me resources that we have to create that thing, so how we can write the code, right? Then after the software development part, there is a tester, the buddy who tests the code, we call that tester in the companies. Then a buddy who deploy our code to some different cloud services like AWS or the Kubernetes, everything. Then we call the DevOps, right? These are the phases from which the software flows, and these are the people's names what we called as, right? I hope you understand till now what the software development process and all these things. Now come to the point, why software developer? Why we can't become a DevOps? Why we can't become a tester? Why we can't become a manager? Why the software developer? We can directly become a manager so that we can manage the things, right? Now, because software developer is a person who have to know all the things. He can also require he can also do the requirement analysis phase. He can also design the resources planning. Let's suppose we decided to create a software on some programming languages, right? Then the choosing of programming language is a part of designing and prototyping, right? The software developer, what does he learn that programming language and start writing that code so that he can make the software, right? So software developer knows every part of the software development process. So software developer is a key aspect, what we called, right? So basically he knows the programming language, he know how to what the logic behind that software. Let's suppose we are going to create a software called calculator, right? Then whoever the person codes that thing, if you want to add, then we use the plus operator. If you want to minus, then we use the minus operator. Basically software developer knows everything. He knows the designing as well, he knows the prototyping, he knows the resources what we are going to use, he knows the testing as well, because if a person writes some, then of course he also knows how to test that thing so that the code will not fail, right? Basically he is the person who knows all the things a little bit, and his main role as well, right? That's why there is a high demand of software developer in the current industry. That what I am here to aware you guys ki software development field, it's a very vast field, vast in the sense ki very high demanding field, just because of the things like the software developer has to know the every aspect of the software development process, right? Now if we talk about that, what I said, why we can't choose the DevOps, the developer, the designer, right? You can see the percentage, right? Basically, developer is not the developer means we write the code, right? It's not necessary, buddy. If we write the piece of code, then it works, and we compile the code, then it works in the iOS app, then it also works in the Android, then it also works in the desktop application, it also worked in the web-based browser based application. It's not like that. We have to, the logic is same, right? But the things, the environment, the programming language, the coding, all the things are different, right? So as a software developer, you have to choose in which field you want to drive in, right? Let's suppose you want to become an iOS developer. It means ki you are going to create a application which runs on the iPhones, right? Let's suppose you are going to become an Android developer. It means you are going to create an app. It means you are going to create a in much detail, you are going to write that piece of code which works in the Android applications, right? Or we are going to write a piece of code which works on the desktop application, like in the .exe files, right? So there's a different part of the developers. A company is not always be kind of key. That's why you always seen in the big companies, big tech companies, it hires the iOS developer, it hires the Android developer, it hires the backend developer, front-end developer, right? 1 minute, guys. So basically what we have to do, now still many of you guys are not aware of that, what's the backend, what's the front end, right? No worry about it, I will discuss it later. But till now you can understand this piece of code, the software doesn't mean a single software is runs on the iOS, Android, desktop, web. It's not like that. And in the daily example, you can also see that many of you have Android devices. The Android application doesn't work in the iOS phone, right? In the Apple's phone. So that's how it works. A company need all kind of developers, whichever you want, whichever you suits best, you can go ahead, right? Now let's discuss what's the front end versus back end. Now let's suppose we have we have to book a cab for ride, right? We want to book a car basically for the ride from go to place A to B. Now what happens, imagine you open the Uber app. Now after that you enter the current location and you enter the destination. If you want, then you can insert the time as well. And there is a part in your mobile, right, which you can see, there is a place where you can write the current location, current destination where you're going to go. It's called the viewing experience, which you can view, right? Now what happened after next, there is a you enter the location where you want to go. Then it's a data. It's a piece of data. The data contain what? Your current location, your destination, and the timing. The data goes in the backend, what we call the server, what we call the Uber uh, Uber data center, या Uber backend services. Then the data is processed according to that given information, your geolocation, your destination. Then it gives some logic. Then there is a code inside it in the servers running as per your request. Then a logic runs inside it in the backend side, and it sends the result to the front end. Yeah, successfully your cab is booked. Right now, what happened? There is a viewing part and there is a logical part which you can't see, right? Because it's in the server side. That's called the back end. It means that there's something in the back end which you can't see, but it's there, right? And there is a front end part which you can see. So now you have to choose whether you want to be a front end guy or a back end guy. Okay, so basically every software need to be back end and front end, of course. For the user experiences, right, we need a front end. Of course, if you directly send some data to the backend, then of course it will process and it will give the result. But for the layman, if we call as a layman language, then for the normal people who don't know what's the backend, front end coding, all the things, then we can't, the person can't see the things, what the things actually happen, the ride is booked or not, where we have to enter the data. That's for the viewing purposes we need some front end part, which what we call the user experience part, UI part, where we need where the normal people need the things, where we can they can see the ride is booked or not, right? So that's the things is worked. That's the front end and the back end. And if you want to become both, if most of the people love to be both, they want to be back end person, they want to be front end person. So then if we know the both, then we call it as a full stack developer, right? So now in the initial time I introduce myself, I'm a back end developer, I am not a front end developer. So I hope you guys clear about that thing, what's the front end and what's the back end, right? So yeah, give me a second. I hope you guys are clear till now. Okay, what's the front end, what's the back end? Now, if we can see with this diagram, what's the difference? If we see the left side, then there is a front end part, right? There is a website, there is a mobile application UI. The person can click the things and do the magic. If whatever he want to, let's suppose he want to order something from e-commerce website, right? Then he simply click that thing, he simply choose that thing, enter the amount, pay the thing, that's happened. But there is a lots of things running behind on your data, right? That's the right person are doing, right? Right in the right side of the image that happened, right? It's called the backend. And backend is not necessary to be visible for the front end for the normal people, because everybody not knowing what the happens behind the any applications, right? We need to we have a only motto to just complete the work. We want to book the ride, click click click, that's it, cab is booked. No need to worry about what the things going behind it, right? Because nobody cares about the backend. But the main brain thing, like it's the backend. Of course, now the technology is too much in the high, um, just because there is a lot of things we can also implement in the front end side as well. So, yeah. So now what we can do, now let's say about key Prince, I want to learn the things. Let's suppose many of you guys after this session start learning the front end, or they want to become a backend developer, because it's a personal choice. No, if someone want to someone interested into designing the front end part, they want to excel, enhance their skills on that thing. I want to create something which users can enjoy to see the things, the user experience, what we called, right? Then he can go with the front end part. Now there is a we call client side. Client end means key normal user, what they are using. It's called the client side, right? So in the client side, if you want to create the things, then there is a called HTML, CSS, JavaScript, what we call React JS, Angular JS, Bootstrap, this kind of thing. If you want to learn, then then you are able to create the front end part, right? Now, if there is a thing called Nginx, Node.js, PHP, Python, Scala, Ruby on Rails, then we can create a backend development thing, right? And of course, let's suppose I have to create a result management system for the student, right? Then result management system for the student. Then let's suppose I am a prince and my roll number is 34. I have my data is to be stored somewhere else, right? Then we need a database also. Of course, man, database is important because if there is a data, then it must be stored somewhere, right? And we have, for that we have to use a database, right? We can use any kind of database like MongoDB, Redis, MySQL, PostgreSQL. This all are the apart from it apart thing, right? We don't need to worry about what we have to choose. It's all the personal preferences over to person, which varies from person to person, companies to companies. We also not have to very much stick about we have to learn that thing, this is the helpful, this is the demanding. No, first understand the basic thing. What's the front end, what's the back end, how the things are transferable from front end to back end, what's the databases and all these things, right? Now, if someone want to learn the things, then which are the programming languages which you have to learn based on your career goals, right? So if you want to learn the front end development, then you can go for the JavaScript, TypeScript. Backend development, then JavaScript, Scala, Python, Go, Ruby. Basically, these are the list of programming languages which you can learn if you want to excel in such field. Like if you want to go with the mobile development, then you can go with the JavaScript. You know what the things are common. JavaScript, right? I want to ask one thing. How many of you are aware about the JavaScript? Are you? If anyone, then they can write in the chat box. Because JavaScript is a language from which we can create a lots of things, man. Like front end part, back end part, mobile development part, desktop application, browser part, everything. The JavaScript is such a powerful language, which is the trending thing, we can say. Now, what we can do, see, if you want to ask now, Prince, let's discuss about the top backend development languages. If you can see the right side, right? Then see, if you can see the images, there is a if you see the right side image now, there is a backend development languages. There is a database, web server, and user interface. From the user interface, data is sent to the backend, which we call the web server, right? Server, which is handling the data. And if it processes the data, and if something needs to be stored, then it's sent to the databases, or after this, it will revert back to the user interface, right? The thing, database and web server collectively called as backend. For the backend development, we need to also understand the databases also, because what the front end guy will do, it accept the data and so to the user guy, so to the client, so to the person which they are using the app that time, right? But everything apart from the viewing experience, it has to be managed by backend developer, from the database to the server to the data sending, data receiving, everything, right? If you want to the popular languages now, which is a topmost popular language which you can learn from the JavaScript, you can learn the backend development, then it's the JavaScript, Python, Go, Swift, Ruby on Rails, Perl, PHP, C Sharp, right? Basically, JavaScript is the demanding one, just because of one reason. The JavaScript community is expanding too much, just because of it expand in the backend development as well. It expand in the front-end development as well. It expand in the data science as well, and gradually, but it's not in too much. But JavaScript is everywhere, guys. You can create a mobile app as well. You can create a desktop application as well. It's all up to you how you can manage the things, right? If you ask me, Prince, can you explain the things for the front end part, what we can use? Then you can see the vue.js, right? JS keyword stands for JavaScript, AngularJS, React.js, Ionic, to Backbone JS. So from these languages, you can create a front-end part, right? So these are the trending technologies, trending things, which from which you can create front-end or either backend. It's totally up to you. Now, don't panic, guys. These are the things, and from where we have to learn. I can share all the things from you, so no need to worry about it. These are the again list for the front end part, like the React.js, HTML, CSS. There's if you want to styling the things like the red color of the front end part, the yellow color, it will done from the CSS part, coloring, styling. If you want to learn backend, then there's a Node.js, PHP, Express, Java. If you want to do work with the databases, then it's a SQL, MySQL, MongoDB, Oracle, everything, right? For the server, then it's the lightest speed Apache, everything. So these are the things. These are not the limitations on. These are not the only things which from which you can learn. There's a many more languages outside there from which you can create the backend development, from which you can do the front end development. But again, the things will come. We need a job, right? We need a good job. We need the things. We need the working things. We need the trending things, from which, or we can say, we need the demanding things. If from after which learning we can excel in such fields, right? So, yeah, just a minute. I know I drink lots of water. See, so yeah. Now your next question is, Prince, is it sufficient to get job in IT sector? Because now I understand all the things. Like I understand the backend, I understand the front end, I understand the things like how the things are going on. We can understand everything, right? We understand till now how the web development technologies stacks are there. Desktop, if you want to create a mobile app, then you can use the Swift for the iOS app, Flutter for the Android app, right? So this kind of things you can learn, and you can create such apps which you want, right? Now, see, so Prince, is it enough to get, or is it sufficient to get job in IT sector? For for this, I have to answer one question more. Let's understand the companies, right? What kind of companies offer the job? Then there is a things called product-based company, and there is a thing called service-based company. We have to understand these things, right? What's the difference between actually what's the service-based, what's the product-based? So let's understand this. Basically, just a minute again. Basically, what happened now? There are lots of companies in the IT sector, right? And from which they are divided into two parts. There's called the product-based company. Then there is a service-based company. Now, what's the difference, Prince? The difference in the pay scale, the difference in the job description, the difference in the hiring process, and the difference in how the number of hirings are happened in this company. So there is a list called product-based company like Amazon, Google, SAP, Microsoft, Flipkart, IBM. These are the product-based company. If we talk about service-based company, if we talk about the India, then it's the Infosys, Wipro, TCS, Accenture, Tech Mahindra, Cognizant. Let's understand one by one. What happens? First of all, if you talk about the product-based, if you talk about the pay scale, right? There is a huge difference in the pay scale. Basically, if we talk about the comparison, then if let's suppose if the service-based company gives you around X dollar, then the product-based company will give you around 5 times direct, 5 times year, around 4 to 5 times, right? Why? Why there is a huge gap in the pay scale? Basically, what happens now? For this, let's understand one thing. If you talk about the Amazon, right? It's a huge company. It has their own product-based company. You can understand from the word, it's a product. Basically, the service is to sell the product. There's something called on product. It has a website. It has a server system which they rent to others lender. like the AWS server, like the Amazon website, e-commerce website, right? Basically, the thing is, product-based company has something called on product, and service-based company is providing a service to another companies, right? Let's suppose if there is a company in the Saudi Arabia which want to create a software like Udemy, a learning software, or Coursera, whatever. Uh, then they need a developer, right? They need developer to create that thing uh, for the um, for the Saudi Arabia, for their in the regional languages, according to customization, according to their peoples as well. So they hire someone, or they give a contract to these service-based companies because they offer the services to them, right? To create such kind of software. Then someone take the what we say the take the project, like the TCS take the project for the Saudi Arabia, and the developers inside the TCS will work for the TCS, but they worked on the Saudi Arabia projects, right, as a client. Then in the service-based company, there is a client, and the developers inside the service-based company offer services to them, right? These are the service-based company. There's nothing uh, selling from their own. There's nothing scaling like thing. They need a service and they offer. That's it. It's a fixed bid project and kind of thing. There's lots of technicalities inside there, but there's like a fixed price things, right? And they offer services to them. But what happened in the product based company? Product based company is a huge company. You always almost use Amazon once in a life, right? You used Google every time. You use Microsoft product, most of you. The Flipkart is a Indian e-commerce website, right? So basically it's a huge company. It's a very big company. And then what's the advantage on the big company? Again, TCS is also the big company, but basically the advantage for the product based company is they have their own product. Then what happens for that? Let's suppose, have you ever idea ki how much Netflix is a hit a request, right? 164 million hour per day. That kind of things, that kind of data is generated by Netflix in a 1 hour, in a 1 day, right? What is the what we can say, how much money is Google earn in a 1 minute? It's a $420,000 around in every minute. If we talk about the Facebook, then $2,000, right? 2 lakh, yeah, $200,000, right? For the Microsoft revenue, it's a $320,000. So that's a huge kind of money, right? And they are earning from the selling, after selling their software, a service, like a software called the e-commerce software is something like the what we say, Microsoft Offices, right? The Netflix share the movies and all the things, right? The point is that there is a huge customer base. A minute if a minute contribution in the financial term, if you contribute to them, then there is a huge amount of revenue they are generating. I hope you all get my points, man. There is a huge revenue system in the product based company because there is a lots of users are there all around the world. So if they are having a too much profit, then of course the developer inside it also get the too much pay scale as well, right? So yeah, then let's talk about the hiring processes. Of course the hiring process is different in the product based companies. uh, they have a thing, they expect you something called the data structure and algorithm, what we called as a in short term is a DSA. And what's the DSA kind of thing? DSA is kind of thing like, we have a data, right? And we want to manage the data. The data management thing and the data storing thing, both are the different. If we have to store the data, then it's the part under the database, right? Which we have to learn here, right? Which we have to learn here in the database segment, whether we have to use the MongoDB, PostgreSQL, MySQL, whatever we can use. It's the thing which we have to store. That's a different part of thing. But data structure is like how we structure our data, how we manage the data, how we extract the data and calculate the things. Then there's a lots of things are there like the array, linked list, stack, queue, tree, graph, table, sets, hash, everything, right? So this kind of data structure we have to master, and what the product based companies generally ask to their employees, right? If you want to join the product based company, of course everyone want product based company. Recently in the intro I said I am going to recently what I said in my intro, I am going to join the project stack, right? It's a product based company. Basically they offer something of um, a software which help to automate or test the code base, right? Whatever, not go deep on that thing, but it's providing some software, right? So it has a product which they are selling. So that's a product based company, and of course the product based company pays more to you. That's the advantage, and the entrance of that in the product based company is not too much easy, the things, because you have to master the data structure things, and these are the pictures of data structure which you have to master. Now picture come to the key, what actually we have to understand the things. Basically there is a programming questions given to you and you have to solve it, right? Then there's a lots of website which offers you to understand the programming questions, to understand or master the data structure and algorithm, right? So let's discuss one by one what the exercise websites are there. So the webs, if you talk about the websites, then it's where it is. Yeah. Then the first website is called the lead code, right? In the lead code, basically, if you expand this section, then there is a lots of data structure. Some of them are the algorithms are there, right? But if you see, then there is an array, then there is a string, hash table, DP, BFS, sorting, binary tree. You have to master it. Then there is a lots of website as well. There is a Hacker Earth where you can practice such things like the array. If we see here, array, stack, queue, hash table, linked list. There's a lots of programming questions out there, and let's suppose there's a modify sequence. This is the problem based on the 1D array, and we have you have to solve the problem and check there is a problem statement, there is an input, there is an output. You have to write the code on programming language, whichever you want. Let's suppose you want the C++, JavaScript, everything. Yeah, I know that's not the part of development thing. That's the another thing which we call the data structure. How basically the company want to know how you manage the data, right? There is another website called GFG, what we call Geeks for Geeks. Then there's a list of data sets. If you see the view all section, then there is an array, has what we call tree, stack, graph, all the things are there. You can see. Now if you want to ask something particular, key prince, let's understand. Let's suppose if you see the problem, right? Sub array with given sum. If you click on this, then you can easily see the company tags, right? This question is asked in the Amazon, Facebook, Google, Visa, right? Let's suppose if you want Cardano's, this is the question called a Cardano's algorithm. Then this question is asked in such companies like MetLife, Microsoft, Citrix, DSO, Ola Caps, all these companies, right? Then there's a company tag as well. Now, if you talk about the another website, then there is an interview bit. From this, you can also master the data structure algorithm like the array, math, binary search string. Basically what happens now, there is a programming questions which we have to given in the problem. You have to think about it. It is solved from which data structure, what kind of data structure I can use from the list. Either it's solved from the linked list, stack, queue, pointer, string, whatever, right? Array, mathematics. Now there is a website called HackerRank as well, where you can practice the problem. Left rotation. If you see the problem, left rotation, you have to solve it, right? There is a list of what we say. This is the problem, right? This is the input example as well. Now there is a list of subdomains like the array, linked list, tree, balance tree, stack, queue, heap. you can practice these things. Now, if you want to be a master like on the data structure, then I also prepared a course, complete DSA preparation, right? It's in the GitHub. I can send you the link in the chat box, and you can check it, and uh, make sure to mark a star on these things. This is the list of data structure we have, which you have to master, right? There's a list of questions behind it. You can check and see. The questions are in the sequence manner, right? So that it will be easy for you how you can solve the questions. Now, if we talk about the things called next, right? If we talk about the things what we called as how to build career in a how much resources for learning development, right? This is the part of learning, what we say, this is the part of uh, learning the data structure, right? Now, if you talk about how we can learn the development part, development part has a something different thing, right? Now, let's suppose there is a roadmap thing, what we call the front end, back end, DevOps, Angular, React. What React is a part of front end part, right? If you want to learn the back end, let's suppose click on the back end. So this is what we call the roadmap. Roadmap contains the step-by-step guidance after learning, from which you can learn the things. Let's suppose first we have to understand the internet. What is the internet? So let's we click on the internet and just click on the introduction to internet, right? Then there is a step-by-step learning process. Okay, what is the internet? How the things are working? What's the wire, cables, Wi-Fi, and all these things, right? So you can also learn from this thing what's the IP address, DNS, and everything. And this is the amazing website, man, from which you can learn all these things, whatever you want. Let's suppose you want to learn the front end, then you can also click on the front end part, and yeah, you can learn the internet was the basic thing, HTML, CSS. If you want to learn the CSS, then if you can click on the CSS beginners course thing, then yeah, a YouTube video is also there, you can learn from it. So these are the things basically you can learn. There is a channel called Free Code Camp. You can learn the things from the Free Code Camp. There's a lots of playlists inside it, from which you can master the things. There is a website, there is another YouTube channel called Academind, from which you can also learn the Git, what's the Flutter. From the Flutter and Dart, you can create a mobile applications, right? So yeah, these are the things, resources which I think I have to share with you guys, so that you can understand the things clearly. Yeah. Okay. Now, if we see, then these are the videos in my channel. Basically, in the starting, I said I have a YouTube channel. So if you see the channel now, so this is a channel of mine called Hello World. Basically, what I have done in my videos. Basically, I have to teach. I teach here the data structure and algorithms, right? Like if you see the playlist now, then there is a playlist of graph data structure, there is a playlist of hashing data structure, there is a playlist of matrix data structure, there is a playlist of tree data structure, right? So and there is a playlist called lead code, which I have to show you, right? Which I have showed you what's the lead code platform are there, right? So, and you can follow me also on the LinkedIn. If you have any doubts, queries regarding how the things are working, I will definitely reply you guys. Okay. And you can also comment down in any of my videos to ask any questions uh, to me. Now, if you have a questions, Prince, which website I have to follow for the data structure, because everybody wants to be in the product based company after all, just because not only for the good pay scale, because for the good environment, for the better learning things, huge community. So you have to follow the lead code. Now, while lead code, you can also follow the Hacker Earth and all the websites which I have showed you. The lead code is a standard platform from all over the world. There is a lots of user on the lead code, and it's a kind of the industry level things, right? Maximum of the user and maximum of the questions in the industry are directly from the lead code. So it's a huge community, man. You can think like that, right? So yeah, you can also follow me on the YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Hello World. And I am expecting you guys, you subscribe my channel for the better things. If you want know if you want to know something, and you can also follow me on LinkedIn, so that whatever I post the resources, and if you want to ask me something, then I can there for you. And this is the course which I have made, and make sure to star mark the complete DSA preparation. If you Google the things now, complete DSA preparation Prince, then most probably it's the first link, right? And yeah, if you love it, then subscribe the channel and follow me on LinkedIn. So that's all, guys, from my side. Yeah, over to Ritika.
Thank you very much, sir, for your kind words and your so much you have enlightening in today's webinar. So thank you very much. Now it's time for your questions. Guys, please, if you have any doubts or if you have any queries, you can drop the message in chat box. And rest assured that Mr. Prince Kumar sir will try to answer each question if possible. So please.
I have sent you my LinkedIn profile in the chat box. If you follow me there, then definitely, let's suppose in future, if you want me asking something, then I am there for you. And that's my channel link. And in this channel, everything is there inside it. Yeah. For the development kind of thing, what I feel so far, the roadmap.sh is a very good website to understand the things. Which is easier to create, sir, application software or system software? Basically, application software. That's because the user base of the application software are too much. Because you can easily create what we call the application on the mobile and iOS. So it's easier for you for the starting purpose. Desktop.
Here's another question. Yeah.
Information is, yeah. What's the best language for backend development? What I feel so far, the JavaScript is a trending one, so you can go with the Node.js. Although if you love the Python, then you can go with the Django. But yeah, JavaScript is going to be trendy, so you can.
Okay, so there's another question from you. What is the important software development in digital marketing?
Not much as well. If you can create such software which help other users to promote the brandings and the things, then yeah, then it helps in the digital marketing field. But for the digital marketing, it's nothing like that.
Anything else?
Thanks everyone. It's thanks everyone. And rest, if you can connect me over my YouTube channel, or you can connect me over the LinkedIn. Whatever you have doubts, you have some personal queries, then you can also ask me there. No worry at all.
Okay, so I think yeah, one more question is there.
What software can you suggest that in building website for e-commerce? Okay, because building a e-commerce is a kind of a tough thing. It's not an easy thing. So it's not only thing there's a one programming language or is used in that thing. But yeah, if you want to build e-commerce, then WordPress is also a kind of thing which we can use. And if you want to start from the scratch, then lots of language you have to learn for the front end as well, backend as well, database as well. There is a thing called MERN stack. I have write down in the chat box. MERN stack basically it's the MongoDB. M stands for MongoDB. It's called databases. E stands for Express.js. It's a part of JavaScript library which had to create the server, right? R it stands for React.js. What we called React.js is for the front end part, and N stands for Node.js. Node.js is for the backend part. So you can check for the MERN stack if you want to create from the scratch. What happens to software that does not meet or does not have much download rates or feedback? Nothing. It's still in the Play Store or the Mac Store or the App Store. So nothing happens that much. It's not like that. They will remove your applications. It's not like that. Okay, you are not receiving my message. Is it? No?
So another question is, what software can be used to write HTML?
Okay, simply if you want to create, right, then you can for every software, right, there is a software called VS Code. It's called the editor, code editor, what we called. Okay, I guess my screen is visible. My screen is there. Yeah. So yeah, if we see now, so VS Code. So VS Code is a software from which what we call Visual Studio Code. You can download it in your system, and whatever you want to play, you can write everything. Most of the I guess around 70 to 80% in this world they are using the VS Code. It's the developer thing. Yeah, they can install the VS Code. Amongst these three, Java, JavaScript, just C#, which is the better for backend to do learn from industry now? I guess these are generally the what now. If you talk about the companies specific, all things are useful, right? If you talk about the Microsoft reasons, right, they are using the C#, right? If you talk about the JavaScript, JavaScript is the for the startups, for the new cultures. Then JavaScript is a trendy. If you talk about the old companies, right, from the early established company, then they are using the Java. So it's not like that key, which is the top three thing. You can start with anything. If yeah, it's not like you can start from anything if you want, if you know the prerequisite for some languages from the previous thing. Yeah.
Okay, anything else from audience want to? Okay, one more question is here.
Yeah. Okay, sir, it is possible to land a backend developer job without experience in front end? Yeah, of course. I don't know front end too much, right? But I know the backend as a my strong key competencies. So yeah, you can definitely, man.
Anything else, guys, you want to ask? Please drop a message in chat box.
If you have any queries, then definitely you can reach out to me anytime. What is the easiest database to learn? It's depend on the things, man. It's both are the easy. If you want to learn the SQL, then it's also easy. If you want to learn the NoSQL, then it's also easy. For some people, it's like the SQL, SQL. SQL is easy for them, but for the most of the people, NoSQL is easy for them too. For me, if you want me, then I prefer NoSQL database. So yeah, and for the example of NoSQL databases, it's kind of the MongoDB, what I prefer too much, and the PostgreSQL, which if you want to work with the SQL database. Yeah, PostgreSQL and MongoDB.
Okay, anything else?
make sure to follow me on LinkedIn so
I
that
think
you
we're
can
done with
update me.
questions, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, everyone. And again, make sure to subscribe the channel and make sure to follow me on LinkedIn so that whatever the things I posted, the resources in the day-to-day basis, you can get the things. Yeah, everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anything else you want to touch on before we move on to end up
For me?
today's webinar, sir? Any advice, any blessings?
Okay. What I think so far, start the learning a small step, right? Like if you want to learn the anything, right? Like the front end, back end, the mobile app development, um, the full stack development, start from the 1 hour daily basis, right? If you give the 1 to 2 hour in the daily basis, then definitely in the long term, in the end of the 2 to 3 month to 4 month, you will definitely in a very good position. There is too much things like the Stack Overflow, medium.com, this kind of websites which help you to grow the things. And you can also ask me anytime, whatever the resources from which we can learn the things, I will definitely share with you guys. And be calm and be consistent. That's it. Nothing is tough, man. You can definitely learn the things in a 1 to 2 month. Whatever the things which you want to learn, it will be. It's definitely achievable in the 2 to 3 months. It's not like that. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir, for enlightening and entertaining presentation on how to build career in software development. We appreciate having the mysterious area clarified.
Hello, world.
Thank
yeah,
you, sir.
yeah. One person is there from the end.
And thank you all. We appreciate your being with us today. We care about
Yeah. I write the.
Okay.
I can't find your channel.
And we care about your opinion. So please complete a short feedback form.
Okay. I have sent the channel link.
I think we have provided the feedback link in the chat box. So guys, please fill the feedback